Please remember to like, subscribe and comment, as we love to hear back from our viewers. Also, if you enjoy our videos, please consider becoming a patron of our show through Patreon and or GoFundMe. Links are listed below the video in the description. From the deepest, darkest recesses of Dangerous Nerds headquarters, Keith Moncrief and Gerry Kissell.
Hello everyone, it's Keith
and Gerry.
Welcome to Pop Culture Minefield. Yes, we are definitely here to blow your mind.
Amen.
Well, looks like we've got some big doings over at Marvel Comics.
This is a big shocker because, I talk with the guys in the Comic Pro group, and we were just delighted to hear this news today.
What is it? That
Marvel has announced that Roy Thomas and Jerry Ordway are taking over Captain America and the Invaders.
Wait.
And it's dropping in June.
I thought it was July.
Or July.
Yeah.
It's one of those J months.
Captain America and the Invaders?
And the Invaders. And it's a period piece. It's takes place during the Roosevelt.
Mm-hmm. President Roosevelt. And basically it's just after Cap has gotten his powers and been commissioned, and this is like one of his first major missions.
Yeah, it's taking it back, and I like that. And you can trust Roy Thomas and Jerry Ordway. Those guys are really good at what they do.
They love the character.
They love the character. We're not going to see any more of that Hail Hydra crap with Captain America. Farewell to that storyline.
I tell you.
Humbug! I tell you, humbug. So it's going to be exciting to see this. It drops in July, and I'm looking forward to see, because in between now and then, we're going to start seeing some artwork for it. And of course, when we see it, we'll share it with you guys on the show. We also have Milla Jovovich.
Mm-hmm. Actress Milla Jovovich.
Actress, not the comic creator of the same name. There's somebody named now, look, I wanted to go see Hellboy this weekend, but after some of the reviews, I decided to save my money. I just decided that I'm going to wait until it's at the cheap matinee to go see it, or when it's available on DVR.
So if you decide you want to see a movie this weekend,
or video on demand, I'm sorry,
why not just go see Shazam again?
Yep, and that's what I ended up doing too. Shazam is amazing. It dropped actually less than Captain Marvel or Mission Impossible dropped. The last Mission Impossible dropped. It's into its second week. They dropped 57%, and Shazam only dropped 53% in its ticket sales, which is, you think, oh, that's just 3 or 4 points. I'm like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. So Shazam is doing pretty good for a film that was brought in for under $100 million.
Yeah.
It's already basically made its money back here in the United States as far as cost goes. But then, of course, you got to put in the extra, double the amount. So, but overseas, it's really killing it.
Yeah.
And so
anything 300 million and basically after 300 million, and it's a party.
Yeah. This is what would be referred to in the old days as a B movie, because it was not an A budget. Yeah. Which is what we made fun of previously in the other episode.
Made fun of? No, we were just offering some constructive thoughts.
Bloated, inflated budgets of Warner and Fox.
Gambit, $150 million movie. Really?
Throwing cards. So Shazam, they brought it in for under $100 million. Yeah. And I think that if they had really pushed it, they probably could have brought it in even less than that. Because Zach Levi isn't demanding a huge budget. Nobody really knows him. Even though I've been a fan of his since Chuck.
Yeah.
He's very funny. I like him as an actor. Everything he's in, he's good. And he's outstanding in this movie. I mean, outstanding. I was one of the naysayers. I admit it. I was wrong. Because even though I said he's funny and he could play Captain Marvel voice-wise and all that, I did not see him physically getting big enough to fill that suit, and the suit looked goofy in those first photos.
Yeah.
But the way they shot it, it really turned out. He looked good in it, and I got to tell you, he's an outstanding Shazam.
Look, that entire cast is just note perfect.
Exactly.
Everybody from the top down is just, it's great.
And now we go back to Hellboy, because Hellboy had a bloated budget. It should not have been as expensive as it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a B movie. It's nowhere near as good as the Del Toro films, from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. I keep hearing certain people say it's not as bad, but it probably just should have been a series.
I think that would have been the way they should have gone.
Yeah, television series. Hey, Netflix. Really? I mean...
Hellboy. But I got to tell you, I like this guy playing him.
Yes, David Harbour.
Because I keyed in on him when he was in the movie Casino Royale. The Daniel Craig James Bond. He was one of the American CIA guys.
Yeah.
I keyed in on him that he was a scumbag, and it takes a really good actor to come off like a scumbag like he did in that.
I liked him in Suicide Squad.
He's good in anything he does.
Yeah.
He's great on Stranger Things.
Oh, of course.
And he's just such a good actor. And I am looking forward to seeing this film eventually, but I'm not going to go to the theater and give it my money right now because I have Endgame coming up and I'm saving up to go see that a few times. And Hellboy should be an R-rated movie or series. It should be, because it's horror.
Yeah.
And straight up horror fans love this movie. They're the ones who are going to see it over and over again. But they're the only ones. Comic book fans are not going to see this movie over and over again because we have a certain expectation. And comic book fans like the Del Toro version. Mm-hmm. And I feel like maybe they should have stuck with that, but they went this direction. And Mila Jovovich said something, and I agree with her. You know, this film will get an occult following eventually. She defended the film. She said, what did she say? She said, every film I've ever been in that did well with fans was criticized badly by the critics. And she's right. That includes Fifth Element, too.
Yeah.
Her first big film. And so she knows what she's talking about. And so I think that the film will eventually break even with home video and video on demand and all that. They'll eventually get their money back on it, but that film shouldn't have had the budget it had. They should have geared down and taken less risk with doing it.
Should have been a complete original semi-series on Netflix.
That's right. Like 5-6 episodes, 5 or 6 episodes story arc.
Instead featuring more of the characters from the comics.
Yeah.
It should be called The World of the BPRD.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you haven't seen the film yet, go see it. But the fact is, I understand if you're like me, I'm saving up to go see Endgame because I'm going to see that at least twice in the theater. Because I got to do my review for it.
Yeah.
So.
And you need to see it more than once to just,
Yeah.
It's going to be a cathartic experience.
Well, the first time you go to see one of those movies, you need to see it and get the surprise out of your system.
Well, that plus the fact that when Endgame premieres will be the same weekend as the start of the battle of, probably the battle of the series Game of Thrones.
Oh.
The Battle of Winterfell will start.
It should get really good.
So that's going to be a big weekend in and of itself.
Yep. And so anyway, go see the movie. Don't go to see it. But Mila Jovovich, good on you for defending your film. Good on you. Free Comic Base coming up, and it coincides with
May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
So May the 4th is going to be Comic Book Day, and we got anything new that you want to talk about?
You know what? Free Comic Book Day. Look, just first and foremost, find your local mom and pop shop. Go there, support them on Free Comic Book Day, because really the purpose of that day is to get you to go to these places and support your local comic book shop business. I mean, support comic books in general, but It's about supporting local comic book shops and also supporting comic books.
Because I'll tell you right now, the comic publishers don't care about these mom and pop operations. They really don't. They've been putting out crap for the last few years, just crap. Crap on crap on crap, which is putting a stranglehold on sales for our local shops. Like ours is our friend Josh over at Comic Cave.
Yeah.
And it really sucks to see them struggling through these times. And if it's left up to Marvel and DC, they're going to put these things out of business, which is no skin off their butt, I guess, that their comics don't sell. I guess they just don't care anymore about comic sales. But that's because comics haven't made a profit since 1974. And this is a problem. But it made money for the comic shops. Your local convenience stores were often your comic shop. When I was a kid, 7-Eleven.
Yep.
They had a little carousel. And Jim Woodward, who's a producer on this show, and he's one of my childhood best friends, we would go to local 7-Eleven and get comic books there.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally...
Or Get and Go. Or various other,
depending on what region you are.
Yes.
But eventually... in the 80s, we got our first comic book shop. It was right around the time that Batman the movie came out.
Yeah.
And it was like that brief spring for comic books, and it got that little surge from Batman the movie, and so a lot of comics came out, and so we saw this comic shop open,
which
and it closed.
Which led to a lot of the books that they eventually started putting out in the 90s. Just like, hey, let's have everything connected to this one character for this company. Or let's do something special like lenticular covers.
And they try to milk their audience. And the problem is that with comic books, there's a finite number. And as population grows, that number grows steadily with it. It never will go above that. And the studios didn't understand that. So they saw this surge in comic books after Batman and thought, we got a whole new crowd buying comic books. Well, it was just for like a short window. Yeah. And then they're back to doing what they do. And the steady number of comic book collectors stayed the same.
Issue number 1, 20 different covers, same book.
Oh, man. That's what led to me. A lot of people get shocked when I tell them I got rid of all my comics in 1986 because of the Secret Wars. And it wasn't because there wasn't a story in there that I didn't like. It was because it was all about milking as much money from the audience, the readership, as possible.
Shakedown.
And it made me so angry that I sold almost all my comics except for the ones that had movie tie-ins, like Blade Runner and stuff like that. So I got angry and stopped reading comic books. And thankfully, though, within a year, graphic novels were taking off. And somebody told me I needed to read Watchmen and
The Dark Knight Returns.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
And I got both of them the same year. And I've been reading graphic novels ever since, or what they call trade paperbacks, which are a collection of story arcs from comics put into a graphic novel format.
Yep.
Which I love that. Because I don't want to wait 30 days to find out what happens next. With TV, you don't even have to wait that long. Unless it's like one of those 13-episode series, and they just like, I don't know when they're even going to air another episode. You go like, why do you spread them out so far? Comic books are best as graphic novels because you get the whole story arc in one book. And could you imagine selling books that way? That'd be weird. So I feel bad though, because these comic book shops struggle through this period.
Shouldn't.
And they shouldn't be struggling, especially in what I have called the nerd spring. We are in a massive nerd spring. There's so much nerd stuff that when we were younger in our 20s and 30s did not exist.
I mean, this current period that we're in, where there seems to be an overabundance, when I was like 10, 11, 12, I would have killed for the bad years that we've had in recent years with some of this stuff.
I once took a life just for that.
I've not killed anybody yet.
I killed him with kindness and love. I'm loving you. So, But with Free Comic Book Day, and it's also another Star Wars Day for us too, which is May the 4th. It's going to be amazing. And there was something I really wanted to say, but before we do, I guess I'll go to the Godzilla thing. Because I showed it to him. We got a leaked clip from the new Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And it's a scene between the military and King Ghidorah.
It starts out with O'Shea Jackson Jr.
I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about
it.
Dude! Yeah. I just get so excited about this Godzilla movie, man. It's just, oh my God, this clip is so good. And to describe it, it's the military. They're doing their best. They're fighting this thing. And a bunch of them get wiped out, and they're backing up, and they're firing, and they're standing their ground again. And then all of a sudden, King Ghidorah's throats begin to glow. Uh-oh. And you go, oh man, you guys are about to die. And that one guy goes, and basically that's it. Yeah. They get wiped out. And it's so emotional, and I was just all caught up in this. It's available on YouTube still. It has not been taken down by Sony.
I think Sony's just going, hey kids, why don't we just leak this?
They're not CBS. CBS, I swear to God, CBS, if they are striking everybody. If you show a clip from anything of theirs, if they find out about it, even if you take the audio out, they'll come after you and try to get you striked. Don't promote CBS. Don't. If you do a YouTube channel, don't promote them. Don't show any clips from their shows. Talk about them. Because you're just begging to be. We got struck. Just trying to do a review, and it was a positive review for Twilight Zone, for the trailer. I gave a really good, I was praising what they did. CBS didn't like that. CBS. Patooey.
See if we invite CBS to another of our parties.
Exactly. They never offer to clean up after the party.
I know it.
Ever. They're the worst. And one of them threw up in the bathroom and didn't clean it up. They missed the toilet. It was disgusting.
Thanks, CBS. Thanks for nothing.
It's the eyeball company. What do they call it? The Royal or they've got some stupid name for their network.
I'm gonna just go off and just you NBC Blue. That's what your name is.
Wow, you went there. You went there
because that's who they actually are. If you know your history.
NBC Blue.
NBC Blue.
Nobody remembers that.
Yeah, well,
except you and I.
Yeah, just Google that.
And NBC Blue.
NBC Blue, and that's CBS's real name. That's what they were born as.
Fire God. Well, I guess that's our wrap up for today. I guess we will be seeing you guys next episode. Until then, this is Keith.
This is Gary.
And this is Pop Culture Minefield. And we're wishing you guys a great day. See y'all soon. Bye now. Woo. Y'all come back now, you hear?
This is Chuck Dixon speaking to you from the control tower. It was a real kick to return to a series that I wrote 30 years ago, but even more fun is returning to an interrupted storyline that I was writing 30 years ago. Longtime Airboy fans can finally find out what happened next. Join us, support us, and keep them flying. Over and out.